decision was made of pardoning 8 ex-Navy personnel, and that seemed to be impossible. It was only because of how Prime Minister Narendra Modi intervened into the matter. And since then, we've seen a number of meetings of these leaders, apart from Dr. S. Jaishankar also traveling to Qatar. And this means that when the Amir is traveling to India, he will be talking to Prime Minister Narendra Modi tomorrow at 12. They are meeting, and a number of issues will be discussed, including the crude and natural gas, for which India is very importantly looking at Qatar, and a number of Middle East projects in which Qatar is involved along with India. And Gaurav, there are going to be some very important decisions that we can come to know about after tomorrow's meeting, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be meeting the Qatar of Amir officially once again.
And it's also very interesting because Qatar is playing a key role when you look at the situation in West Asia, the fight between Israel and Hamas. Several negotiations and several rounds of negotiations have taken place. We'll get to know the latest. Shivani, for the moment, many thanks. For a moment, let's just dip in to the welcome ceremony that took place at the airport. Let me now shift focus to our top story. Rahul Gandhi is leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, and he stirred a hornet's nest holding a Chinese-made drone in his hand, a Chinese drone that incidentally is banned in India. He praised the Chinese drone ecosystem, and he criticized what he insists is India's lack of understanding in this field. The Drone Federation of India has hit back at Rahul Gandhi, saying armchair criticism with zero tangible suggestions don't help. The BJP actually upped the ante. The BJP says there's a larger pattern to the Congress party praising China and criticizing all things India. Opposition and Congress MP Rahul Gandhi holding a Chinese DJI drone, talking about China's drone ecosystem and hitting out at what he believes is India's failure to make drone optics, motors and batteries in India.
The sad fact is that we're nowhere here. We don't make any of the components inside this. We don't understand how it's made. We certainly don't make any of the optics. We don't understand how it's made. And that's what my speech was getting at, that this is actually where we should be playing.
Addressing youngsters directly on video, Rahul Gandhi tries explaining how drones are changing the nature of warfare, both in the skies and under sea.
Earlier, the Air Force used to operate, let's say, for the most part, above 10,000 feet. And if you wanted, if a local unit, fighting unit wanted air support, they had to call the Air Force, and then the Air Force had to send the plane. And the plane was big, very expensive, etc. So now what has happened is the Air Force has merged with the platoon, right? So now the platoon itself has its own Air Force, can use that Air Force to strike opponents and can observe the battlefield.
He claimed he was highlighting what he called was a sad fact that India neither made drone components nor understood the dynamics of drones and the changing concepts of drones and artificial intelligence, praising the China model.
When this thing is built, AI is going to be used to order how it's built. When this thing is used, AI will determine how it's used. When I hear talks about, I heard the Prime Minister say we are going to be number one in AI. I mean, it's complete junk, because you cannot be number one in AI unless you have a production network, or not so effective, but at least you have consumption data.
The president of the Drone Federation of India challenged Rahul Gandhi's claims that India was neither manufacturing drone batteries nor motors or optics. He insisted the optics of Rahul Gandhi holding a banned Chinese drone in his hand and dismissing the Indian drone ecosystem were not only demoralizing but also sending out a wrong message.
इंडिया में अप्रोक्सीमेटली 400 से ज़्यादा कंपनीज है जो अलग अलग टाइप के ड्रोन्स बना रही है। इनफैक्ट यही नहीं, इंडिया में 50 से ज़्यादा ड्रोन कंपोनेंट कंपनीज भी है जो बैटरीज, मोटर, प्रोपेलर, फ्लाइट कंट्रोलर, GNSS और ऐसे अलग अलग टाइप के बहुत सारे कंपोनेंट्स बनाती है। ऐसे वक्त पर एक ब्लैंकेट तरीके से बस ये कहना कि इंडियन इकोसिस्टम में ड्रोन पार्ट्स की बनाने की कोई अंडरस्टैंडिंग ही नहीं है, ये बहुत ही एक अजीब सा स्टेटमेंट है जो पूरी इंडियन इकोसिस्टम के लिए डिमोटिवेटिंग है।
Shah insisted the 400 plus drone manufacturers and ecosystem in India were working in tandem with the government and the academia following the 2021 central government drone policy.
ये इंडियन गवर्नमेंट ने, इंडस्ट्री ने और एकेडमिया में 2021 में ही सोच लिया था और 2021 में सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट ने इंडस्ट्री और एकेडमिया के फीडबैक के बेसिस पर ड्रोन रूल्स 2021 लाकर ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस लाया था इकोसिस्टम में, जिसकी वजह से आज इकोसिस्टम कम से कम 17 से 1800 करोड़ के रेवेन्यू पर है।
The border security force also chipped in, talking about the dangers posed by the commercially available Chinese DJI drones that Rahul Gandhi was holding, insisting they were banned in India as they were used for smuggling weapons and ammunition across the border. Analysts argue India has a vibrant drone ecosystem spreading its wings from defense to logistics and farming. The Drone Rules 2021 liberalized the sector, and programs like Drone Shakti to Drone Didi and production linked incentives may result in a robust growth and India becoming a $13 billion global drone hub by 2030. Bureau Report, India Today. So disruptive technology like unmanned aerial vehicles and unmanned combat aerial vehicles are an absolute game changer. There's no denying that fact. We've seen that in the Azerbaijan-Armenia war. We've seen that in the Russia-Ukraine war. We have seen this across the world. From front lines to farmland, even in India, drones are being extensively used and they're being upgraded. So is there merit in Rahul Gandhi holding a Chinese drone in his hand, praising China's drone technology and an approach that hits out at India? Joining me on India First is Tuhin Sinha, national spokesperson of the BJP. Kamru Chaudhary is the political analyst. Group Captain Augustine Vinod joins me on this special broadcast. He's a former fighter pilot. He's a drone expert. But I quickly want to first cut across to India Today's Shiv Arur, who joins me on this subject. Again, somebody who tracks drones very closely. Shiv, is there merit in what Rahul Gandhi says, or is this a misguided missile?
Gaurav, you know, Rahul Gandhi, in his effort to make an important point about manufacturing, about, technology, about cutting-edge technology in the country, ironically, he has chosen the one sector in the country where actual progress is being made. Rahul Gandhi perhaps was not briefed or doesn't know that the Indian drone ecosystem in the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, a decade, has made incredible progress. Not only are they building drones and supplying them to the military, they're also, creating the software, the electronics that actually convert these drones into intelligent machines. Manufacturing a drone by itself is actually quite a rudimentary exercise. It is the optics, the software, the ability for them to function autonomously. That's what the secret sauce is. And at a time when China's reputation, the reputation of its products, the quality of its products, the global suspicion over Chinese hardware and software is at a peak, India has actually been able to hit back really, really well. There's a huge market out there, and many of these drone startups, there are about 400 drone startups right now, which are, doing various kinds of business with government agencies. It's only a matter of time before they become much larger and fill the void at a time when the entire world is suspicious of Chinese technology. So at a time like this, at a time when millions of dollars in contracts are being given to many of these Indian startups supplying drones to the military and government agencies. And these are, by the way, startups, Gaurav, which are run by young Indians, people in their 20s and 30s, young engineers who are taking the risk in doing things like this. For them to look at a video of Rahul Gandhi, the leader of the opposition, brandishing, a Chinese drone, which is actually banned in India, DJI, which is, admittedly much larger, but banned because their technology is suspect, is quite dispiriting. I actually happened to speak over the last couple of days with some, friends who work in drone companies, and they were perplexed. They say that in the last few years, things have actually moved well in the drone ecosystem. Of course, there are many more things that need to happen. Of course, there needs to be, much greater market access in terms of government agencies. But the government has done things to lift up the drone ecosystem.
Okay.
There are the drone Didis. There are usage of completely made in India drones for land surveying and ocean survey in different parts of the country. The army has transferred the job that was done by helicopters in dropping equipment, arms, ammunition, fuel in forward areas is now being done by heavy duty drones in Ladakh. Perhaps our politicians need to be better briefed in their selection of topics.
Let me bring in Kamru Chaudhary. Shiv, for the moment, many thanks. Kamru Chaudhary, holding a banned Chinese drone in his hand, saying words to the effect that unfortunately they don't allow us to fly this. Rahul Gandhi knows he's holding a Chinese DJI drone. Does the leader of opposition not know it's a banned drone? Bad optics?
No, Gaurav, one thing you must understand, if Rahul Gandhi has been pointing out something on this, it's his duty as an opposition to point out the fact that the drone technology that India possesses or the drone manufacturing capacities need to be augmented and augmented very fast. We are lacking behind this drone technology or the capabilities that the world possesses as of now. But I don't understand one simple thing. Rahul Gandhi has been showing the mirror over different topics. But why do people get spooked so easily on a particular topic that Rahul Gandhi seems to be talking about? It's his duty. But by the way, when you talk about this particular drone, Modi government has a policy since 2022 to ban import of all sorts of drones from across the world. But we have been importing drone parts. We have been importing drones from the Israel, which happens to be a a Zionist state. According to me, you might have a difference on that. We have imported Heron. We have imported the Searcher drones from the Israel aerospace industries. Now, what has India allowed? It has allowed.
So a friend like Israel and an expansionist adversary like China are the same for you. Fair enough. But let me bring in Tuhin Sinha into this conversation. Tuhin Sinha, Rahul Gandhi is raising many issues. Kamru Chaudhary says, he says, why are you spooked? If he raises the issue of the drones holding a Chinese drone in his hand, why are you spooked?
Well, good evening, Gaurav. Good evening, everybody. We are not spooked. We are just very disturbed. Rahul Gandhi's video is a mixture of ignorance and notoriety. But when you try to intellectualize that absurd mixture, you come out with something which just doesn't make sense, which mocks your own drone ecosystem. Now, even before I come to the merits of what he said, the fact that he's flashing a Chinese DRI drone, the one you often see when the BSF seizes that from smugglers. I mean, is that what a leader of opposition in the country has reduced himself to? And obviously, there are related questions. Does he have the license to, operate such a drone? Was the drone registered? But more importantly, when he talks of the need for a bottoms-up approach, that is where he exposes his ignorance. He's probably not aware of a drone DD program, which has benefited 1,500 self-help groups and probably 1 lakh, women, rural women. They have been trained in drone technology, and that has been greatly uplifting for our agriculture. He's probably not aware that during the COVID crisis, vaccines were delivered in the northeastern states, sparsely populated places in Nagaland and Arunachal through drones. But also, the kind of cannons that he spreads, that India does not have a drone ecosystem. India has a very well, equipped drone ecosystem. The fact that India does not manufacture 70% of the drone parts now are manufactured in India. We are heading towards a $13 billion, drone
Okay.
economy in the next few years. So I
Let me
think
bring in Group Captain Vinod, because there are two very pertinent points that have been raised. One by Kamru Chaudhary, the other by you. Group Captain Vinod, you're not only a former fighter pilot, you're a drone commissioner. What is your understanding of what Rahul Gandhi is saying about Chinese drones, comparison with the Indian drone ecosystem? And a very important point that Kamru Chaudhary raises: why is it that you're okay taking drone components from Israel and not China?
Couple of great questions and couple of great observations, Gaurav. First and foremost, for the sake of our viewers, to make put things in place. Say, for example, heroin is banned in India. When I'm talking about a banned heroin in India, can I hold up a heroin packet in my hand, say this is an heroin packet, and say this is banned in India? Can I say that? The first question you will ask, or any viewer will ask me, is how did you get this heroin packet in your hand to talk about it? That's exactly that is happening. DJI drone, when I was in uniform, I did this. It's not a hearsay, Gaurav. I did this test. They take the metadata, they take thumbnails of what you, the areas that you're flying on, in the name of software update. They pump out a GB, 2 GB, 3 GBs of data. That is upload 3 to 4 GBs of data, download few megabytes of data in the name of software update. The drone saves data, that the areas that you're flying in, and that is one. And second, the communication that Rahul Gandhi just talked about. I mean, with all due respect, and yeah, I believe he flies very well. And some of the questions that he asked, maybe I'm in agreement. Be that as it may, the communication protocol that he talked about, FCC of United States, where Mr. Sam Pitroda comes from, has banned this particular communication protocol, because this communication protocol that DJI utilizes itself is a big suspect, which is the reason why they said not only DJI, even the sub parts of DJI cannot be utilized. And this is the report, 80-page report that I had submitted, that this DJI drone is, why are they doling it out to you at a much cheaper cost, and why is it ubiquitous? Why is it seen flying all over the place? Because he's giving it to you at cost, or probably less cost. Remember, when anything is cheap, when anything is cheap or free, you are the commodity. You are being looked at. You are being snooped at. This particular thing that he is holding in his hand, not the technology, but this particular equipment, is extremely dangerous. I would say as dangerous as
that's the problem. It is for every Indian citizen to be spooked with a Chinese drone that's taking information from here and sending it to servers there in China. If he's taking images, those optics on those cameras, they're taking data and transmitting to China. That is why every Indian should be spooked. The other point I'm coming to, Kamru Chaudhary, India has a very vibrant drone ecosystem. Youngsters to armed forces and veterans like Group Captain Vinod, from frontline to farm, made in India drones are being used. Drones are being used to ferry loads that helicopters did in the past. Shouldn't we be proud of our drone ecosystem instead of running it down? Drone Federation of India says what Rahul Gandhi is saying as an armchair critic is demotivating and demoralizing.
Absolutely not. Gaurav, it's how you take the entire issue. Rahul Gandhi is holding a drone, but all drones, all Chinese drones or US-made drones or Israel-made drones as such are banned since 2022 in India. So it hardly matters which type of drone is
Group Captain Vinod disagrees with you on searchers, herons.
Let him come after this.
Also on military.
Let him come after this.
Sea Guardians are not. We are buying Sea Guardians. We are buying Predators. But those are military grade drones that are required for long range endurance. But go on, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. What Rahul Gandhi actually meant out here is that let us create an ecosystem for the drone and the AI technology to take over the next generation in India. We as an Indians, despite the PLI schemes that Narendra Modi government has announced, despite the Make in India, have we progressed since the 2021 drone technology policy that Indian government has announced? no, we have not been able to create an ecosystem wherein this drone technology takes an indigenous shape in India. Still, we are importing vital software, we are importing vital parts for the drones from abroad. That is the point that Rahul Gandhi was made. If a drone that was in his hand was supposed to be a Chinese banned drone, I don't think so it has any significance, because that itself is what you call this, a representative that he was showing. I doubt if Rahul Gandhi will get himself involved in anything sinister, as you are suggesting out here, as to playing with the nation's security. That's always there in the mind of Rahul Gandhi. As a responsible opposition leader, he has been citing the loopholes in Modi's drone policy, with which we have not been progressing. Because the world has seen how the software.
The point that Rahul Gandhi is raising is about creating that ecosystem for that bottom-up approach that is being talked about, is to manufacture all components in India, not use any component that may come from outside, because that would compromise your security.
As of now, up to 70% of the drone components are being manufactured in India, with companies like IdeaForge, Zuppa, and New Space taking the lead in it. Fact is, Rahul Gandhi does not do his research. If he had done some research, he would have known that he was carrying a Chinese drone. He would probably have replaced it with an India-made drone. Probably he could have promoted one of the Indian companies. So such a person who takes zero pride in the Indian establishment, in the Indian ecosystem, he is bound to criticize it. And we are not, saying he should not criticize it. The only thing is that criticism should bring out some positive suggestion. Where is the positive suggestion except for, ridiculing your own ecosystem? That is our limited point.
Group Captain Vinod, the fact remains Rahul Gandhi is raising a very pertinent point that China is independent in terms of whether it's manufacturing its drone motors or sensors, components, cameras, optics. Everything is made in China. In India, to be 100% Atmanirbhar and drone manufacturing, we cannot have Chinese components, because anyway software upgrades, even the Atmanirbhar Bharat made in India drones have some Chinese made components. I'm told even military drones have faced certain issues in the past.
It may have, but like you correctly pointed out, we have in last couple of years moved towards reaching 100% Atmanirbharta, and I'm not saying it off the cuff. We recently, my wife has a drone company, we recently put up a facility in which we are machining the three things that he talked about. Even I would add the fourth thing. We are machining motors and adding the electronics to the motors. So from a billet of an aluminium block, a drone is produced. And you can see here, it says 100% designed, developed, and made in India. 100%, not 99% or 99.9%. Now, the propeller, again, designed, mold costed us a hell of a lot, molded, made in India. The entire DJI drone that he's holding is plastic. The ones which most companies make in India are forged carbon. They are more strong,
lighter, better,
stronger, better, lighter than the ones that is flying around in this plasticky looking thing, and cheaper. That is the beauty of
and that's why when we scale it up, it'll be even cheaper with better technology and with artificial intelligence thrown in. We have an ecosystem that wants to perform better, that wants to do better, that wants to keep India first. Gentlemen, we'll track this story closely. I've run out of time on this part of the show, but the drone ecosystem is something that the nation is proud of and wants to be even prouder in the months and years ahead. A quick break. Geeta Mohan comes up next with The World Today. Stay with us.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
The India Today mood of the nation
opinion poll. This is what the new Lok Sabha could look like if elections were held right now.
Get the answers in India's most credible and longest running biannual survey, Mood of the Nation Opinion Poll. Subscribe to the magazine and avail special offers.
जिस प्रकार की बात सैम पित्रोदा जी ने कही है, वो भारत की अस्मिता, भारत की कूटनीति और भारत की संप्रभुता पर बहुत गहरा आघात है। उन्होंने इस प्रकार की बात कही कि चीन के साथ तो किसी प्रकार का विवाद ही नहीं है, जैसे भारत ही अग्रसर की भूमिका में, यानी आक्रामक मुद्रा लिए हुए, और ये कोई उनका अलग बयान नहीं है। ये ओवरसीज कांग्रेस के चीफ हैं, यानी समुद्र पारी कांग्रेस के प्रमुख हैं। अब समुद्र पार से तो सोरस के सुर भी कांग्रेस के साथ मिलते हुए नजर आते हैं, परंतु यहां पर एक बहुत गंभीर बात है कि जो कुछ सैम पित्रोदा ने कहा है, यह कोई आइसोलेटेड इवेंट नहीं है, आइसोलेटेड स्टेटमेंट नहीं है। इसी भाव और इसी विचार के अनेक स्टेटमेंट राहुल गांधी पहले दे चुके हैं।